Hello everybody. I hear there's a new Pokemon game coming out later this month for Android. I'm not going to review Pokemon games, but I thought, why not read a work of Pokemon related fiction? Yeah, I know. You think I would have learned my lesson after trying to read and review that Minecraft book, but I didn't. I went on Amazon, looked around to see what sort of Pokemon fan fiction was available on the Kindle, and there was surprisingly wasn't all that much. A lot of it was like $10 for a 7-page book. But there was one that I found that was only 99 cents called Pokemon Sapphire Quest by Scott Baker. So I decided to read it. Why don't I read you the first chapter so you can see what it's like.
Oh, why did you have to agree to this? A young brunette teen thought to herself. Because you somehow convinced yourself this would be fun, that's why. She answered herself huffily. 15-year-old May sat on the floor of a traveling moving van surrounded by various boxes. It was anything but pleasant. The van would dance the groove of the road texture, which wasn't always smooth. The boxes would wobble in a way that made her uneasy, and don't even get her started about the occasional speed bumps. When she moves around, she's walking on eggshells, so it's understandable as to why she's been sitting still for the majority of the trip, only stretching in place when her body became stiff. After a while, the vibration of the van was starting to really take a toll on her behind. Looking around, she noticed an unboxed chair sitting across from her. With caution, May made a crawl for the chair and carefully hoisted herself onto it. What a relief, not to mention the road had gone flat, making the ride much smoother. Thump! Whump! Another blasted speed bump. If that wasn't bad enough, the van had braked and did not do so gently. The chair had lost its balance and took May down with it. She landed flat on her face. Ouch.
Oh my. Yes, that's just so bad. Okay, it's better than the Minecraft. I mean, this at least, sure, it had that one big long run-on sentence there in the middle. And quite frankly, there was quite a bit of too confusion, TO/TOO in the book. But, other than that, there wasn't really that much in the way of grammar or spelling errors, except the inability to spell Pokeball correctly. I mean, for some reason spelled it as if it was Pokeball, which is actually kind of funny, too. I mean, overall, it's not really all that great a book, and it's certainly not even remotely original. The plot is pretty much the plot of Pokemon Sapphire, the game, if you ever played it. Basically, you're playing as May, the female character in the game, who has just moved to Little Root Town, next door to Professor Birch, who has a son named Brendan. And, you rescue Professor Birch from a Poochiana. And he gives you a Pokemon. In this case, May chose Torchic. And, he asks you to go out and have adventures, and you meet his son, who's basically your rival, and you've got to fight against Team Aqua, and that's pretty much the plot of the book, basically exactly the same as the game, except in this case, and it cuts out right before the second gym badge. Basically just before that, May is whiny and kind of pathetic and lacking confidence. And despite somehow managing to win the first gym battle by what seemed to be dumb luck, because basically this person who wrote this doesn't seem to be able to write Pokemon battles very well. You win by dumb luck pretty much because you basically are going up against a rock trainer with a bug, a fire, and I think it was, and one other one they basically just beat the rock with a bug, with a Venonat, which seemed a bit unlikely, but of course, if you've never played the game, you don't understand why. I'm not going to explain it. It's not that important. I'm just babbling again. And this book is, besides being a straight-up rip-off, it's not very well edited. I mean, basically, at the end of chapter 4, we suddenly find this author's note.
Author's note. Hi-ya! Hope you guys are enjoying the story so far. So a new semester of the dreaded dungeon known as school will be starting soon. Wish me luck. Plus, with life getting in my way, updates may be less frequent starting soon. But nonetheless, I hope you keep enjoying this. Bye!
I don't know why that's in there. I mean, obviously this thing was originally posted on some sort of fanfiction website in serial format, and then was edited together as a book and posted on Amazon to try and make some money. And whoever it is, I assume 12-year-old who wrote this, or at least a fairly reasonably talented 12-year-old in this case, forgot to edit that part out. Yeah, but I mean, besides that, there's other problems with it too. I mean, there's absolutely no use of scene breaks in it, so despite the fact that most of the story is told from May's point of view, it'll occasionally just suddenly from one paragraph to the next switch to Brendan without any sign that it's switching characters. There's no change. Usually if you're reading a book, there'll be like star, 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 or something to indicate the change in scenes. That's how it's usually done. Well, in print, sometimes it'll be an extra long space, but you can't really do that in ebooks. This person, for some reason, doesn't do that. I don't know why. Or maybe it was originally written with the extra space, and it just reformatting it for Kindle didn't show up, and they were too lazy to fix it. I don't know. There's also some weird problems with time's passage in this. I mean, basically events happen for May that seem like it would take maybe 15 minutes, and she'll bump into Brandon right before it happens, and then bump into him right after, and he'll be acting like it's been days or hours. It's just weird. And like I said, it just cuts off randomly. I assume because I don't know if this is as far as the person got in the story when they published it, or they want to break it up into lots of different parts so they can make as much money as possible. Not that I think they're going to make much money, because idiots like me is going to buy it. And frankly, considering the fact that the cover art is pretty much completely ripped off from Pokémon games. In fact, the whole thing is pretty much ripped off of Pokémon. I wouldn't be surprised that if it got some sort of DMCA notice at some point. But, it's not bad. I mean, okay, it's not good, but it's not terrible. I'd certainly recommend it to, well, I guess Pokemon fans who want a good laugh at how poorly written it is. And I've decided also that I'm going to start giving books ratings, because this is a review, so I should give it some sort of ratings. I don't like stars because those are too ambiguous and numbers are boring, so I'm going to give it a letter grade, because why not? Gotta do something. So I will give this a D. It's not quite a total failure of a book, but it's really not very good. And I'll be back soon with more reviews. I'll keep reading books, and you read some good books too, and the world will be a better place for us all.
If you like this video, please click subscribe or watch some of my older videos. If you think the book I reviewed sounds interesting, buy a copy. There are always links to the Amazon store in the description for this book and any other books I mentioned. If you have any suggestions on other books I could read, or any other comments, queries, insults, or anything else you want to say, please feel free to mention it in the comments section.